Good evening, everyone. My name is Maia Kaushal. I'm in year 12, and today I'll be discussing how the role of women in Formula One has changed throughout history. Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsports and has been around for about 70 years, with many changes being made to the rules and regulations. For example, the halo. The halo is a protective head device introduced in 2018 following the unfortunate death of Jules Bianchi in 2015. Now, at the time, this was seen as a very controversial change, with many saying this took away from the risk and danger of Formula One. However, this controversial change has saved the lives of countless drivers, including that of seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. So if the world could come around to the idea of these contentious safety features being added to the car, when will the time come for the idea of females in race cars to be more socially acceptable? Fortunately, that time may be now, with the arrival of new programs to better incorporate women in this iconic motorsport. But first, I think it's important to discuss women at the beginning of Formula One. In the history of the sport, there have only been 5 women to enter a Grand Prix, and out of them, 3 of them were able to qualify, with Lella Lombardi being the most renowned. In 1975, Lombardi made history by being the first and only woman in Formula One to gain points in a race, thus marking a major milestone in female motorsports. Now, jumping forward to 2014, Susie Wolff became the first woman in 22 years to drive during an F1 weekend at the British Grand Prix practice session. But since being a development driver, she has had an even bigger impact on Formula One. 3 years after her driving debut, she became the team principal Formula E Team Venturi, but she is currently the managing director of F1 Academy. So what is F1 Academy? How does it work? What are the impacts? And what can we learn from this program? F1 Academy is an all-female racing league that was built to include and prepare women for the more elite stages of the sport. Representation is also reaching new heights, with each F1 team nominating a driver to race in their livery, with Bianca Bustamante being the first. The 18-year-old driver represented the McLaren racing team, with Aston Martin quick to follow with their Academy driver Tina Hausmann. Shortly after, Jessica Hawkins made strides by driving during a testing session in Budapest, making her the first woman to do it in 5 years. Her successful test drive is what led to her getting a more supporting role in F1 Academy, where she said, "If I can make it easier for future generations, help break down barriers, and pave the way for them, then I'll be happy." Now, I'm not saying F1 Academy is perfect. It definitely had its share of problems. For example, many fans were excited to see the different women race. However, the FIA caused immense disappointment by not even broadcasting the initial races live. In some way, this contradicts the aims of the program, which is to give women a platform to be better seen. And we all know media has a massive impact, not only on the sportsmen's lives, but also the lives of the future generations. Take the UEFA Women's Championship, for example. After England won in 2022, participation rates for women 16 and over increased by 53%. That means that 2.3 million more women took up football after watching the tournament. In fact, 83% of spectators also said that the tournament changed and improved their perception on women's football. So if media can have this much of an impact on the involvement of women in football, just imagine the ideas it can spark in young female drivers. So yes, F1 Academy definitely had its problems and bumps in the road, but it quickly gained supports, including the support of legendary driver Nico Rosberg, who said F1 is doing a lot, and soon we're going to see a female driver in Formula One. Now, so far, I have only spoken about drivers and team principals. However, in my opinion, one of the most important members of the team is a strategist, and an important one in Formula One is Hannah Schmitz in Red Bull. Schmitz is the principal strategy engineer, and her job, alongside her team, is to analyze exponential amounts of outcomes surrounding a race weekend. For example, in the Budapest Grand Prix in 2022, Max Verstappen was unfortunately starting the race in 10th position. However, Hannah Schmitz's quick thinking of changing tactics and tires is what led to their unexpected win. And luckily, her efforts are not unseen by the team, with the motorsport executive, Dr. Helmut Marko, saying we were all exceptional. But if we won, it was mainly due to Hannah. Unfortunately, she's still unseen by the masses, and is the unsung hero of Red Bull Oracle Racing. Now, as I said at the beginning of my speech, Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport and automotive engineering. So with the constant developments being made to the cars and their strategies, it is reassuring to see that there are also developments in the inclusion of women and recognizing their achievements in the sport. But that being said, there's still a long way to go before the gender discrepancies are completely diminished. Nonetheless, I think it's safe to say Formula One is breaking barriers one lap at a time. Thank you.